Hey, what's going on? So, first time playing Oasis. Jumped on some of the new maps. First night they came out, I wasn't sure how I was going to do, so I tried to use my own advice, and that was I figured everybody else had kind of played it, so I was going to jump in there, run the ACR red dot site, and I was just going to follow some of the other guys, see where they go, because I was hoping they were going to show me where the choke points were. I had no idea how this map was laid out, so and I actually didn't do too bad. So this map isn't overly bad. There is a lot of natural little choke points, stairwells, little buildings you can go into. If you want to skirt the outside of the map, I recommend it. That's kind of what I did. Try to keep an eye on your mini map. You can see where the bad guys are popping up, and of course I didn't see that guy coming. And look at your crossbones, your skulls, and you could run into it, I guess, if you want. Definitely a couple of vehicles you can try to blow up. I found that a lot of guys were staying kind of towards the building. There's some buildings on the back side that everybody was going to. Second floor, there was a couple of walkways guys were going to. But, you sit too long, somebody's going to come up behind you and shank you. And, and that's the way it was. So it's got a little bit for everybody. You can go to short range weapons. You can go to long range weapons. You can snipe across this map. I think, though, that if you snipe, you got to get in one of these spots where you can see down one of these avenues. And as you can see there, I kind of got in behind the guys. They were running like 3-4 guys at a time. So when you came around the corner, if there was one, there would be generally another. So I tried to keep moving. One of the tactics that a buddy of mine, Atkins, told me about was stay to the outside of the map because everybody gravitates towards the center. And I'm watching the mini map. I know there's going to be some guys out there to the right. Going to try to go around the corner. I spotted a guy, wanted to kind of stay still. But if you stay towards the outside, then most of the fighting takes place inside. And, you can get in behind them. Now, I've never spawn raped. I've never spawn camped. I have been sitting when somebody has spawned in front of me. And, I've taken advantage of it. But I don't know where all the spawn points are. And I think the fact that, there are some people out there, groups that get together, and that's what they do is they practice running the map and rotating spawn points. And I've been in matches where you spawn and die, spawn and die, spawn and die, and that can get real frustrating. We played some matches last night where basically every time we jumped in, it was like you'd spawn on hardcore and there'd be a guy in your back pocket. And that makes for some frustrating time because, you're like, okay, I got to wait for the countdown timer, jump back in, and then you take 2 steps and you're dead and you got to wait 15 seconds. So, and that's difficult, especially when you're playing with a couple guys and you're trying to do your part and, the bottom falls out. But, on this one, I'm trying to explore the map. I'm trying to find out where to go, where's the best places to go. And since we were all not in an Xbox Live party, and that dude should have been dead, and I wasn't really hearing a whole lot of chatter, I try to keep an eye on the mini map because, as you can see, I'm kind of surrounded by green guys. Also, I'd look on the map and see where the green guys were because when they were on the other side, I knew the bad guys were going to be spawning near me. So I had to keep watching my back. And if you notice, I'm trying to practice kind of what I preach, and that is start firing before you draw down on the weapon. A lot of times when you draw down on the weapon, you cannot swing it left or right as fast. Now, do I turn on the hip fire, steady aim? No, I don't really turn it on. I used to turn it on a lot with Modern Warfare 2 when I did a run and gun or stab and jab kind of class. Where I wasn't pulling up on the weapon. Because, if you're running, you really are not anticipating pulling the weapon up a whole bunch. So I popped out a... oh my God, I just had a massive brain fart. I cannot believe I did that. But the spy plane, it shows everything. And I still can't think of it. Anyway, so I was trying to use that to my advantage. The advanced UAV. See, I knew it would come to me. That's what happens when you get old. Memory goes first. My beauty will always stay, But, and you're trying to use it because when the triangles are pointed in such a way that you can tell which direction the guys are going, then you want to use that to your advantage. Now here, I get the airstrike. I'm trying to run, trying to keep an eye on where it's at, and I killed myself. Redunculous, right? So, anyways, no one really ran away with the game. The guys on the other side, hats off to them, because they were running a pretty good team tactic where, you know, you rarely ran into one or two. They usually covered each other's backs, which is a good tactic if you're going to play with a couple of guys. Definitely playing the maps over and over again and learning where everything is and where everybody's going to come from definitely helps. But like I said, this was the first time that I had played this, so I was doubtful that I was going to go positive. I had no idea that I was going to do as well as I did. And, you know, the ACR was one of my favorite weapons in Modern Warfare 2 because of its accuracy, its rate of fire. It kind of has a smaller magazine than I would prefer, but much larger than the SCAR. The damage is way down, and that's one of the things, you know, that I kind of do like, that they go through and they try to balance things out. Like if you look at the FAD, that thing is highly accurate, wonderful rate of fire, big magazine, but the damage is way down. Because think about it, if you had a weapon like, you know, the M14, MK14, I forget what it's called, and you start running automatic fire on that, you know, you're going to be so daggone deadly that it's going to be a massive game changer. So, you know, I'm hearing all these things about Walmart now has these specials on these Xbox controllers that are now coming built with a turbo button already in it. You don't have to buy a modded controller. And, you know, when I was much younger, you know, 20, 30 years ago, and the big thing was playing track and field. And I think it was like on the Nintendo or something, that we got a controller that had a turbo on it. And that's because you were supposed to rub the A and B button to make your guy run fast, and the faster you ran, the longer you could jump. So in that sense, a turbo button was pretty awesome, you know, and like I said, that was years ago. But in a game like this, where turning on the turbo takes a weapon that's supposed to be a single shot weapon, a single fire weapon that's highly accurate, very deadly, and you're firing it like an automatic weapon, you know, you're taking out some of the things that make the game enjoyable. Plus, you know, the gun is louder than heck. We were playing the other night. There was a guy on our team that I think he had a modded controller, because I don't know if his fingers could be that fast, and he was just rapid firing the MK14, and whatchamacallit, it was just so daggone loud that it gave our position away to everybody. And I you know, when I played on Black Ops, and you see all these modded controllers, and I would laugh so hard, because, you know, these kids are going out and, you know, spending all this money, 110, 120 bucks or whatever, on these modded controllers, and they get in there and they're switching them on, and they're playing with these single shot weapons, and they were still stinking. And I'm like, really, dude? You just spent all this money and you still stink. So, you know, maybe you should take the controller back, you know, ask for your money back. Because all it did was it let you fire rapid a whole bunch, but if you stink, you stink. So save your money and knock off the hacks, knock off the cheats and all that. You know, you want to play better, research some videos. Go on, see who the lobby leaderboard is of all time, of the type of gameplay you like to play. Then go and see if they have any videos online. Black Ops, that's what I used to do, is go see who was leading that week for domination. And I mean, you know, ridiculous, like 700 points per minute. I'd go watch one of their videos and try to see what were they doing that I wasn't. And a lot of it was team play. You know, the guys would get in there together. I'm sure that hosting definitely has a big help with it. But none of, you know, I don't know any way to guarantee that I'll be host. And that'll definitely help you. But when you're not host, can you still play well? And I'm finding that with Modern Warfare 3 that I necessarily cannot necessarily play consistently. And that's why I kind of prefer Battlefield 3. But, you know, like I said, first time I played this, did pretty good. 23 and 19, wound up being MVP on my team. So it was kind of nice, and big surprise because it was the first time I played this map. So thanks for watching. First look at Oasis. If you haven't got it, go ahead and get it. This is Scandalous Bob. We'll see you again.